As I watched the Monday Night Football game this past week when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the New Orleans Saints, and at the end of that game, you see Tom Brady down 16-3, 5 minutes to go in the game, and he brings them back and wins that game. Vintage Tom Brady. Yeah, we look at him in the twilight of his career. Think about this guy's career, what he's really done, and the greatness that he exhibits week in and week out on the football field. He's played 20 years in New England, the last 3 in Tampa Bay, 23 years. He's won 7 Super Bowls. Of those 7 Super Bowls, he's been the MVP 5 times. And when you watch him come out and he gives you that let's go before every one of the games, you see the fire in his eyes, the passion in his heart, and the resolve he has in everything he does on a football field. So I start to think about what drives him, what gives him that kind of sense of competitiveness week in and week out. I believe it goes back from the very beginning how he entered the National Football League. This guy was a 6th-round pick. He sat for a year behind Drew Bledsoe. They only got a chance to start because Drew Bledsoe got hurt in his 2nd year. He was motivated by the doubters. He has embraced the challenges, and he inspires everybody else around him to think the way he thinks, to keep proving people wrong, to be the best at what you do. That's Tom Brady. And how ironic. He's going to play the San Francisco 49ers this year. Actually, a place where he grew up. His childhood team was the San Francisco 49ers. And then last week, if you look at the San Francisco 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo, who they says gives them the best chance to go to the Super Bowl, goes down. Who comes in? Tom Brady was in the 6th round. This is Mr. Irrelevant, talking about the last pick in the draft. He comes into that game in the first series when Jimmy G goes down. They kick the field goal. He comes in for the rest of that game. They beat the Miami Dolphins, probably the hardest team in the National Football League. He goes 25-37. He has 2 touchdown passes. And when you look at what he did, more importantly, you hear from his teammates, guys like Fred Warner, the defensive captain of the San Francisco 49ers, what he had to say.
If you ask anybody how I feel about Brock Purdy, like I have the most respect and confidence in him, just because I know like he could take that, like that's how I know, like, he's prepared, he's ready, because he's played against the best defense in the league for the past 13 weeks.
And how about Trent Williams, all-pro left tackle? He talked about when your quarterback goes down and the backup comes up and he's hesitant and doesn't sound confident, your play and you're hesitant and you're not sure that we got the guy that knows what to do. But if you come into this huddle and you act like you know what you're doing, you sound like you know what you're doing, we just assume you know what you're doing. And that's the way he was. He came in there and he sat there and took over that team. And this makes you kind of wonder, as you sit there and think about the twilight of Tom, the emergence of Brock Purdy. Could this be kind of a similar situation? And when you look at it, you sometimes wonder if you're not molded in the National Football League based on how you enter the National Football League. Tom Brady, Brock Purdy, both had to sit and wait for an injury to the player in front of them to get their opportunity. The one thing about both these guys, because of how they entered the National Football League, there was always doubters. There was always questions about who they are. But what you see from them and how they entered that league has fueled them. It reveals them and can ultimately, like Tom does, define them. I'm not saying Brock Purdy is going to be Tom Brady, but I'm saying let's give him a chance. Because sometimes, you know what? That's all you need. And let your actions speak for themselves. Brock, good luck. You're going against the GOAT. But who knows? I'm not comparing you to him. But boy, the start of this journey sounds pretty familiar.